So this morning I'm here at Emerald Lake, and some of you may very well recognise this scene behind me. That's the Cilantro Bistro kind of reflecting in the lake below. And this morning, to film this video, I actually woke up at 4:30 in the morning, drove about 2.5 hours to get here, and it's currently about -5. And to be honest with you, that has got me questioning a little bit as to why. But first, I'm going to actually move around to the other side of the lake here. And the reason I've come here at this time of year is because the lake's not actually fully frozen. So normally you just get open water here later in the winter, but the whole lake's currently open. So I'm not going to start off my morning by shooting this more kind of commonly shot scene. I'm going to head on around there and hopefully we can get some slightly different compositions. So let's see if we can get any good images around there. And also I'll talk a little bit about why I started this YouTube channel. So this is what Emerald Lake looks like from the other side of the lake. You can see behind me here, this is the Emerald Lake Lodge, that's the little Cilantro Bistro, and then we've got that bridge just running across here as well. You can just about see the lights there. From this angle, you do tend to get more of a reflection, especially of the mountains over there. However, this morning, I have made a bit of a pig's ear of it. I've been filming and kind of messing about a little bit, and this reflection's kind of disappeared a little bit. But on this side of the lake as well, there are also lots of like cool logs and trees kind of falling into the lake, and a lot of them are just submerged. So there's a little bit more option for foreground here. We can have a bit of a play around. But just word of warning as well is like behind me here, this is actually an avalanche path. So if you're coming to explore Emerald Lake, I wouldn't recommend coming to this exact spot kind of deep into winter. I mean, one, the lake's going to be frozen at this end anyway, and you won't get a reflection or much of a composition, but obviously that can be a bit of a risk. Like right now, there's pretty much no snow on it. There's no real risk at all to me here. So we're going to have a little bit of a scout out of compositions and just hope that a reflection turns back up at some point. So what I'm kind of thinking is I can probably use some of these logs as a bit of a leading line, maybe going towards the island and towards the reflection, or maybe even use some of this kind of grass. It's a little bit frosty. Use that in the foreground to maybe like dirty the frame a little bit, have that out of focus in the front, give it a bit of depth. But you can probably tell that it's pretty gloomy today. And to be honest with you, I knew the forecast wasn't going to be very good. It was either kind of calling for almost 100% cloud coverage, and some forecasts were actually kind of suggesting almost 100% fog. And I thought fog would have been pretty cool, but I mean, coming out even though the conditions maybe aren't 100% is kind of the point, and is kind of one of those reasons why I started a YouTube channel. Yeah, it might be a bit embarrassed to show you that one. I'm not really sure. Tried to use these logs as a bit of a leading line, but the weather's just not really playing ball this morning. But we'll see how it turns out after maybe a bit of an edit. But back to why I started a YouTube channel, I suppose. One thing most people want to know about people on YouTube, I suppose, is how much money are they making? And was money one of the reasons why I started? And to be honest with you, absolutely not. Like, I make very, very little money from this YouTube channel. I've got like a little bit of a subscriber base, about kind of 5,500 subs, which I don't think is bad. It's not terrible, but my videos range quite wildly in views. I've had 50,000 views on a video, and I've had as low as 200 or 300 views. And to be honest with you, I can't really work out the algorithm. I don't really want to spend my time working out the algorithm. I just want to make videos that I enjoy making, and kind of just filming the things I enjoy doing, rather than trying to work out what's going to do well. So on average, I reckon I make somewhere between 100 and maybe 150 Canadian dollars a month on YouTube ad revenue, which obviously isn't very much. And then on the other hand, I do also have those BANFF kind of CANMORE and the ICEFIELDS Parkway photography location guides that you can download. And that's a great way to support the channel if you do ever want to do that. There's hundreds of different locations in those guides with GPS coordinates and kind of recommendations on focal lengths to take with you and times of day to shoot. So it's a good little bit of information if you're planning to come and shoot in this area. So I kind of sell downloads of those, and then I have a little bit of ad revenue. But again, it's not a lot. It really just about covers the fuel and maybe the cost of actually kind of coming out to shoot. Probably covers my petrol for the year, and maybe a little bit of an upgrade if I need like a little bit of camera gear or something. There's also a few other little perks as well to having a channel. I've been sent a few things. The backpack that I'm using today, which is the PGY Tech backpack. It's a great little bag actually with a proper hiking frame on the back. I got sent that. I've been sent a kind of a tripod, a couple of filters, and a couple of other bits as well, which is super nice. And it's all gear that I use really regularly. Like the Freewell magnetic filters I've got are amazing. Just clip on, clip off, super, super useful. So if it's something that I think I'll genuinely use, then I'll include it in a video. I'll talk about it a little bit. But yeah, there's a few little perks, but the money is definitely not enough to justify running a YouTube channel for money alone. So just trying another little composition here with that grass that I mentioned before in the foreground. But still, there's nothing going on in the clouds. There's no real light. And now the lights have even gone off on the island there as well. So yeah, probably not going to be the best morning for photography. But I bet you're wondering, did I start this channel for the fame and for the notoriety? And I think, no, like obviously I didn't. But I mean, it is nice. I have kind of been recognised a couple of times actually just shooting around the Rockies. And it's just really cool to know that people are out there watching some of these videos and getting some info and getting some inspiration from the things that I'm doing and coming out and shooting themselves. And I do really enjoy kind of helping the photography community in any way that I can. So people will often reach out via email or reach out on Instagram and ask about conditions or locations. And I'm happy to help out other photographers when I can. But obviously that was never my intention to start a YouTube channel for that reason. And in all honesty, I often don't admit that I have one. I find it a little bit embarrassing kind of filming in front of other people. And sometimes admitting that you're a YouTuber, especially a YouTuber in your kind of mid to late 30s, seems a bit silly sometimes. So that's definitely not the reason why I started this channel. So I'd say there's probably two main reasons why I started this YouTube channel. And the first one is actually having a way to share my work. And I think nowadays, to be honest with you, most social media apps and websites just aren't very good for sharing photography. Like Facebook is essentially a dead platform. I used to share images quite regularly on there and they'd get quite a lot of feedback and interaction, but now almost nothing on my photography page. So I kind of gave up with that quite a while ago. And then of course there's Instagram, which again used to be a really good platform for sharing still images, but now it's really pushing more into the video kind of stuff as well. So you end up having to film quite a lot anyway. And then of course on Instagram as well, you're kind of sharing an image at very low resolution and often in an aspect ratio that's maybe not the most appropriate for the image that you've taken. And what I've actually found is that YouTube is a much better way to share my images and share my work, which is kind of ironic because it's a long form video platform primarily. But there's a couple of reasons why it's good for that. One reason I like it is that a lot of people actually watch YouTube on, say, a TV or a computer screen or something a little bit bigger, and you're not really constrained by the aspect ratio of, say, Instagram or something. I can shoot images in a landscape format and a portrait format, and they kind of show quite well in either way. And I've actually found that I shoot more landscape images now than I used to because I'm not just shooting for something like Instagram. And one thing with modern social media platforms and modern kind of like photo sharing or video sharing platforms is they're all designed for like short attention spans and very, very quick, constant kind of content creation and a constant cycle. So if you share images on something like Instagram, you might get a bit of interaction and a couple of comments and a couple of likes in that immediate kind of 24-hour period, 48-hour period, but it disappears really quickly. And something like a reel is gone in seconds, and then it just goes into the void, never to be seen again. And the cool thing about YouTube is if you create a video, at first it might not actually do very well at all. Maybe you don't get that many views in the first week, but then suddenly months down the line, it can be picked up again, or people start watching it again at certain times of year, or the algorithm just picks it up and kind of puts it out. And then you'll get comments and people asking questions about what you've done or saying they like your work. Like years down the line, it doesn't feel like a wasted effort. It feels like I'm producing content and videos that people are going to find useful for years to come. And I still get views and comments on videos that I've made 2 or 3 years ago. And I like that. I think that's really cool. It doesn't feel like you're just throwing things into the void and having it just sucked away and lost amongst everything else. It kind of has its own little place. And also it's a really nice way of really documenting my own trips and my own experiences out here in the Rockies and further afield as well. Like I often film when we're on holiday or when we're away and kind of tie in a little bit of photography to that. But I watch them back sometimes and get nostalgic about our trips to Japan or anything else. But talking about sharing images, I think I'm actually going to share some images from a recent trip to Italy. I didn't film a YouTube video when I was out there, but the images I got this morning are a bit rubbish and I think you guys deserve some nice ones. So here's a few images from Rome, Florence and Cinque Terre, some of the most photographic places in Italy. I got some good images, but unfortunately didn't get around to filming much, but I still think this is the best platform to share them. So let me know what you think. There we go, that's a little more like it. Maybe some of the images from this morning didn't turn out too bad, but I would definitely say these ones from Italy are better. And none of them would have been the right aspect ratio for Instagram. So for me, one of the main reasons to start this YouTube channel was realistically motivation. And this morning is a great example of that. I wasn't sure the weather was going to be great. I wasn't sure the conditions were going to be great, but I wanted to film a video, so I came out anyway. And sometimes I just need that extra little bit of motivation to want to get outside and shoot. And you know, maybe with YouTube it feels like there's a little bit of accountability. You know, you kind of want to be putting out videos relatively regularly. So it means I need to get out and shoot. I need to think of ideas, think of concepts for videos, and think of locations to visit. And during this whole process, I've actually visited and found more photography locations in the Rockies that I'd never been to. I've lived out here for, the best part of 8 or 9 years, I think, altogether. And a lot of these places I've shot pretty regularly, but there are little locations I've been finding whilst filming these YouTube videos that I just never would have done if I didn't have the motivation and the drive that comes from these videos to get out and do so. So those are probably the 2 reasons why I've started a YouTube channel. To share my work and to motivate myself to get out more and shoot more. And it really has worked for that. I found new locations, I get out more regularly, you know, and I love doing it. I love getting out and shooting and visiting these locations. And even though this morning I didn't get any images that were honestly all that good at all, I still got a morning outside, a morning walking around a beautiful lake in the mountains, in nature. And that's what it's all about. So I don't know, maybe nobody will watch this video. Maybe thousands of people will watch this video. Maybe some of you will watch it and get inspired to start your own channel or head on out and shoot yourself and come here and visit the Canadian Rockies. But that's what it's all about really. Just get out, have some fun, get shooting, get creative. If it motivates you to get out and do more, then why the hell not? Why not start your own channel and just give it a go yourself, you know? Don't go out there hoping for amazing views and loads of money. Just head out hoping to have a good time. But if you've managed to make it this far, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to support the channel and you're hoping to come and shoot out here in the Canadian Rockies, do check out those guides in the link in the description below. It's a great way to find some of the locations that I've been finding over the last few years whilst filming this channel. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on the next video.